Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on the old show today, the vehicle that made its debut at the New York Auto Show is the brand new Jaguar XF. Now, we teased this particular machine in one of the last episodes. We got a whole ton of official information, including power for this particular machine. It comes right off the bat with a 2-liter turbocharged diesel 4-cylinder that's going to be making 160 brake horsepower and 280 pounds-feet of torque. Now you can up the power upgrade out of that particular machine to 177 brake horsepower and 317 pounds-feet of torque. You can also go with a 3-liter turbocharged V6 diesel lump that's going to be making 296 brake horsepower and 316 pound-feet of torque. Or you can go with the Mac Daddy, which is the 3-liter gasoline supercharged V6, putting out 340 brake horsepower and 332 pounds-feet of torque. Or the upgraded version, which comes with 380 brake horsepower and 332 pounds-feet of torque. Now, all these power plants are going to be shifted through either a 6-speed manual, yes, quite exciting, or an 8-speed automatic, and they're talking about 0 to 62, coming at just over 5 seconds for the bulk of the run of those power plants. Another machine that took off the wraps at the New York Auto Show is the brand new Chevrolet Malibu. And I have to say right off the bat, Mark Royce, one of the heads of General Motors, who said this styling was mind-blowing. Not as mind-blowing as I'd hope so. I will say it's a very attractive automobile, but it's not near as attractive as I thought it was going to be after that glowing interjection about this machine. Now let's talk about some of the power plants that are in this vehicle. It comes with a 1.5-liter, normally aspirated 4-cylinder, making 160 brake horsepower, 184 pounds-feet of torque. It also comes with a 2.5-liter, normally aspirated 4, making 197 brake horsepower and 191 pounds-feet of torque. Now, the fuel economy numbers come in at 27 in the city and 37 out on the highway. You can also go with a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, making 250 brake horsepower, 252 pounds-feet of torque. But this does take a tad bit of hit when it comes to miles per gallon, as it only starts out at 22 miles a gallon and 34 out on the highway. All of these vehicles are going to be going through a 6-speed automatic transmission, but there is another option. It comes with a 1.8-liter gasoline 4-cylinder with a 1.5 kilowatt twin electric motors with lithium-ion batteries. The total amount comes in at 182 brake horsepower, and supposedly, at least in early testing, combined fuel economy numbers are going to come in at over 47 miles per gallon. So, pretty impressive piece, and we'll keep you in tune if we hear any more about this. And then probably the star of the show, the old New York Auto Show, is this, the brand new McLaren 570S. Yes, this is the machine that has square in its crosshairs the Porsche 911. This thing's a tad bit on the smaller side, a little bit more tauter, but still that same McLaren magic. It comes with the same 3.8-liter twin turbocharged V8. This one's going to be making 562 brake horsepower and 443 pounds-feet of torque. Now that's all shifted through a 7-speed SSG automatic gearbox. 0 to 62 come in at 3.2 seconds. And all of this goodness is going to cost you the most, well, probably the most economic, at least as far as numbers, as far as what money you're going to have to come up with. This thing's going to be, I hate to say it, I'm just going to say it. It's the cheapest McLaren that they make, that not being the world's greatest word for this, but it's all going to come in at under $200,000. A lot of people pointing at maybe around 160, 170. We'll have to wait and see. McLaren has yet to announce just what exactly this vehicle is going to cost. That being said, they made a little poke at the Geneva Motor Show saying that they will never build an SUV, and they drove that point home at the New York Auto Show, as they got a great big picture with 4 of the latest and greatest SUVs coming down the pike, including that new Rolls, the new Bentley, and with a huge X through it to further bang the point home that they will never, ever build an SUV, even though it would be kind of interesting to see just what exactly they'd come up with. Next up on the list, we've talked about this particular fella in the past. There's a video out there called 32 Hours and 7 Minutes. A neat little documentary harkening back to the old Cannonball days, the U.S. Express days. This particular fellow by the name of Alex Roy, living over in the New York area, actually made that run and made sure that that was actually possible by crushing that record by almost 2 hours when he did just a touch over 30 hours. Well, it wasn't too very much long afterwards, or at least after the DVD came out, may have inspired these three blokes, being led by Ed Boland, who actually took a, what was it, an E-Class Coupe Mercedes, it wasn't even an AMG, jammed it full of fuel with a bunch of fuel cells, and lopped off another 2 hours off of that time when they went over about 28 hours to make it from coast to coast. Now, the day of the taping of this particular program, which you probably won't see this for a couple of days, this photo hit the old interwebs, which, yes, is the first guy, Alex Roy, showing up a little Garmin unit, which showing his brand new record time, and you see it down there in the lower corner. It is 26 hours and 28 minutes, which is crushing that 28 hours. And look at some of the time stuff. Apparently they were only stopped for around 23 minutes, just touch over 23 minutes. Their total moving time was 26 hours and 4 minutes. But look at that. Overall average speed was 108 miles an hour. The average speed overall was 106 miles an hour. And then look at that top speed, 188 miles an hour. And apparently this was done in a Q50 Infiniti with a 3.7 liter twin turbocharged V6. Yes, the one right out of the GTR. Yeah, that reminds us of the Q50 en Rouge. Apparently he got his hands on this particular deal. Now, I gave that DVD out as a Christmas present, which got a lot of the family really poking at what exactly would take place if you make a Cannonball record run. And then when I texted my brother today about this particular story, got him all excited, just doing a bunch of research on it. He just came just ahead of the taping of this particular program. Hey, remember the day of the taping is April 1st. So this quite possibly could all be an April Fool's joke. So check in the next video and I'll have official proof whether this has happened or not. Because the site that was showing this is a site that I don't really trust to begin with, even without an April Fool's joke. Last up on the list, the Fast and Furious 7 franchise, or I should say the 7th edition of the franchise, is going to be hitting theaters by the time you see this particular film. And an interesting little situation on Jimmy Kimmel, Vin Diesel let out a little information where he said that a fellow actor, Kurt Russell, who makes his debut in the Fast franchise inside of Fast and Furious 7, he said, Vin Diesel that is, that he thinks of these films as trilogies, and that Kurt Russell's character will be an integral character in the next film. Yes, there will be a Fast and Furious 8. Apparently it's going to be taking place in New York City. So you may be really jumping for joy, you may be a little bit upset, but this is by far one of the most lucrative franchises in movie history. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. If you want to jump on over to the Facebook page, links down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.